Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mornings with the Focus. Joined this morning by Cardell Dudley Jr., Finest Magazine, and obviously with Focus TV. I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr. And look, playoffs yesterday were fun. You had some teams saving off elimination, other teams, making things a series, making things quite interesting. We're going to get to that in just a little bit. Again, what we've been talking about across several of our programs is how competitive this first round of the playoffs has been across the board. Again, you still have the rare occurrences where some teams are just taking care of business. They're not trying to play around at all and get got or end up doing too much more than they have to do. It's about getting this done and moving on. Leads with last night, we'll start with the Nuggets. They stave off elimination, 126-120 win over the Warriors. Another big performance from the Joker. Monte Morris came through with a big second half. Aaron Gordon's aggressiveness certainly didn't hurt as Denver lives to fight another day as they held on down the stretch. The Joker, shout out to him right now. After yesterday, he just became this year's playoffs at the moment leading scorer with a 37.8 rebound, 6 assists performance. Monte Morris had 24 points and 5 assists. Aaron Gordon chipped in with 21 points, 6 rebounds and 4 assists. And Bones Highland gave them 15 points off the bench that were sorely needed. All right, Cardell, your thoughts on the Nuggets staving off elimination?
Uh, Jokic, he set the tone early. I think he kind of figured out what he can do with Draymond. And, he was going quick. He wasn't really playing with him. Well, not that he was playing with Draymond because you can't play with him, but he didn't take unnecessary dribbles and waste too much time. He made a decision and he went. And once he got going, other guys stepped up. Aaron Gordon hasn't had a good series at all. He stepped up with 21. And like you said, Monte Morris, he stepped up. That was key. And then the Warriors, they had some issue, self-inflicted wounds, man. You know what I mean? Missing free throws, 71%, including Steph. He missed 4. When he missed 1, you shocked. He missed 4. That's crazy. Jordan Poole, who's been on the terror, he came back to earth a little bit, 3 for 10. But he still facilitated, had 9 assists. But, when he's not scoring, it is what it is, And I just think Draymond, he had a monster game, 13, 11 to 6, 2 steals, but he couldn't contain the Joker. And that's what it really came down to. And like I said, the little things, missing all those free throws or whatnot. But the thing with me is I think the Warriors were too, for a stretch, they were too reliant on trying to get Steph and Jordan Poole going. You had Clay going and you had Wiggins going. Feed out hand, get this over with. And I think sometimes in the past, that's where they failed to do. That's when they would lose key games and like the finals against the Cavs, and that gives teams momentum and stuff like that. You can't play with a team now with the Nuggets. It's far-fetched to say they got momentum because now they got to go back to Golden State. And then they still down an all-star and a guy who has all-star caliber talent, Michael Porter, and obviously Jamal Murray. So, those are things right there. But, not to be worried about the Warriors. They still only lost by 5. So, and it was a winnable game. Came down to a bad lob pass and all that. So they could have still pulled it out even with those little issues, man. So the Warriors shouldn't be worried yet. But at the end of the day, when you go back home, you should try to end things. So because if they win, then it's a series again. Because now it's momentum, and you got to try to close this thing out on the road, which will be tough because you have to rely on role players that are experiencing this for the first time. I like how people are trying to ignore Wiggins as being part of the mix. They go right to Poole and Clay and Steph and Dre, obviously the big 3, and they act like he ain't a big part of it. But Wiggins has been balling on this series. Like he's been the one constant. You know what I mean? And I like the fact he ain't crying about shots and all that. He's the reason why Aaron Gordon and what I'm saying, and let's keep it a buck. Aaron Gordon has been struggling, and let's keep it a buck. You ain't heard from Jeff Green at all. He's the guy. He's literally guarding 2 dudes and has erased them from the series. So he deserves kudos because those guys are fully capable of disrupting things and making things interesting. That's how the Nuggets were able to win 48 games being down 2 starters. So that's all it is, man. They clean up the little stuff. The Warriors should be fine in the next game.
Yeah, and I'm happy that you brought up Wiggins because not only that, when they go to their new lineup that doesn't have a name, what have you, And it's cute how people keep making these graphics without the two defender, like the biggest cogs defensively in that lineup when they have them on, when they go nuts offensively, they keep leaving Dre and Wiggins off the graphics. It's it's stupid. But even yesterday, like you said, if they just kept feeding the hot hands, they were fine. Wiggins and Clay, the only thing that shut them down were their teammates at times when they got away, when they stopped feeding them. Denver didn't slow them down. Clay started the game hot and had a couple, got a foul trouble early, but had a couple stretches where it was like, hey, find Clay. The ball went somewhere else. Hey, find Clay. The ball went somewhere else. Wiggins has mismatches at times, and he was feeling it, trying to get a three from one of the other two, like you said, trying to get the other two going. Golden State has had a penchant in the past, or over there, this tenure with them, but sometimes they make things incredibly hard. And yesterday was one of those moments. And again, something to keep in mind is, yeah, you do have those vets, but there are a bunch of guys where this is their first go around with this. Wiggins, Poole, in terms of in the postseason like this and closeout games and things of that nature. But yeah, the free throws were crazy. But shout out to the Nuggets for getting it done. Could have easily just rolled over and they didn't. And that closeout game in the Bay, yeah, they're at home. It's still gonna be tough. Denver's not about to just roll over. You're gonna have to go put them out the playoffs. That's how Denver goes. You have to close the door and tell them this is where it stops. All right, on to the next series. Milwaukee, again, one of them teams. Since they lost to Chicago, it's officially turned into business trips. They dismantled the Bulls once again in a 119-95 game for victory. Grayson Allen had a big performance off the bench for the Bucks. Giannis with, this line sounds stupid until you remember, it's normal. 32, 17, 7, and 2 blocks. Again, sounds normal. The him and the Joker been going nuts this postseason. Allen, again, said he had a big game. 27 points and 3 steals off the bench. And what he's been doing with those 27 points, he's giving them a much needed release where Giannis is attacking, Drew's attacking. He's knocking down threes. He's stretching the floor and making the Bulls pay for it. And then Drew Holiday, never gets enough credit for what he does. 26 points, 7 assists. But Cardell, your thoughts on the Bulls, man? The Bulls in this series is they go down 3-1 now.
I mean, the Bucks are the champs for a reason. That's what they just showed what that was. It's like y'all, all right, y'all got one, but we're gonna show y'all what the championship level is all about. And they elevated their games, across the board. Caruso, he gave him nothing. It was just lights out. But really, the game got away because the Bucks were so damn hot from three. They shot 51% from threes, and the Bulls shot 25%. So they made 9 threes, but the Bucks made 17. And and you put that in there, and then you look at the bench points. Grayson Allen, 27. He outscored the entire bench by him damn self. The bench only 17. They only had 17 points. Grayson Allen had 27. That's a game right there. That's why it was such a big blowout. Clearly, they're not going to stop Giannis. He's in kill mode. He's just like, all right, man, let's get these boys up out of here. And that's why he's the best player in the game, right now, period. Drew Holiday, he don't get the credit, did what he's supposed to do. Bobby Porter stepped up, double, 14 to 10 or whatnot. And the thing is, they're doing this and Chris Middleton out. You know what I mean? So they need guys to step up, and Grayson Allen is starting to become that guy where he's stepping up and providing a much-needed lift off the bench, which is honestly, he's kind of taking the Bobby Porter's role from last year. When a guy come in, you can count on him for about 10 to 20 points. You can count on him to add some production, which helps ease the burden, from the starters, and they're going to need it, and they're going to need him to be consistent moving forward. But that's all it is, because the Chicago Bulls, if you look at their starters, Williams stepped up, had 20 points, 10 rebounds. DeRozan had 23, they needed more from him. He was over 5 from deep. Vucevic, Giannis took it to him, 11 to 10 when Porter's locked him up, whatever. And Levine had 24 and 13 assists, 5 rebounds. Like, guys played well in that starting lineup. The game was lost because they couldn't defend the three, and then they really didn't get much production from that bench. And that's just the difference between a team trying to figure it out and a team that understands. Because a team that understands, they can pull on different areas and they can look at different lanes and avenues to try to get the job done. Where the Bulls not quite sure. They're new. They know maybe DeRozan, Levine, Vucevic been there. Once you get past that, you hoping. You trying to figure things out, and against the world champs, man, you can't figure things out. You got to know, and that's why they're down 3-1.
Yeah, laid out perfectly, and there's no reason to stay there too long. Also, another team in the East is also in business mode. Atlanta got the last Atlanta won game 3, and Miami responded with a couple of padlocks for the entire Atlanta organization. They put on a defensive clinic in their 110-86 win over the Hawks yesterday. The Heat's entire starting 5 scored in double figures, and every player that entered the game scored at least once. Jimmy Butler, 36 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, 1 block. PJ Tucker had when PJ Tucker's we know what he does defensively when he's contributing on offense. You know what the type of night is going to be. Most impressively, Kevin Knox ended up as the Hawks' second leading scorer, and he came in the game essentially at garbage time. Let you know the type of time Miami was on. Trae Young was in jail. 9 points, 5 turnovers on 3-for-11 shoot.
They bullied him. The Hawks got some questions that be answered, and they're not ready for the Heat. They're dealing with it's like a young kid trying to play with grown men. That's what it looked like yesterday. Basically, they kept them on the perimeter, made them take tough shots, and then they just owned the paint. They owned the boards. They wanted to rebound the battle, and then they just bullied them. They went in there, went inside. Jimmy Butler was driving. Bam was in there dunking on cats and stuff like that. Like, they didn't settle, and they didn't shoot well from 3 either. They're talking about the Heat. They just kept driving, led by Butler. Even PJ Tucker was 5 for 7. They just really like, y'all can't guard us. You know what I'm saying? Like, and their bench didn't really play good at all. I'm talking about the Heat. You know what I'm saying? Like, Martin 1 for 6. Harold 1 for 8. Harold didn't even do nothing. Oladipo came in 3 for 10. You know what I'm saying? Just showing, he's still in the mix or not. This was just dominance from Jimmy Butler and that starting lineup, him and Bam and all those guys, man. And their defense held the Hawks down, man. I heard Trey say the quote kind of like, I haven't been guarded like this since I was in high school. And this is what we always talk about. It's just they not doing nothing we haven't seen growing up. This was normal back in the day. These guys, of course, you're going to look nice when you playing soft defense because you have to because of the rules. Otherwise, you're going to foul out. When the league said they want just to let guys be able to get back in and play defense and stuff, you're seeing guys get exposed, and it wears guys down. That's why tough physical defense is played. I'm not talking about dirty defense. We clothesline the guys. I'm talking about tough physical defense. I'm taking away your airspace. Guy on the string. Yeah, if you even think about going right, it's a guy waiting on you, and he gonna be just as physical. He ain't tripping off you making tough shots. You're gonna take tough shots all day, every day against us. We're not letting you do all that. And with Trey, look, he got to address the defensive end. He has to. He's horrible. And they know that. So pick and roll, they going right at him. You feel what I'm saying? Which causes other guys to have to over-compromise to help him out. And then it's just about moving the ball, finding the right guys. And that's how guys are getting knocked out. They're getting shots. They're getting shots wide open time and time again. And the fact that, points in the paint, 48 points in the paint, that tells me they're getting wide open in the paint, which shouldn't happen in playoff basketball. Because they didn't do it. The Hawks had 26 on points in the paint. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then they got, once they got rocked mentally, they didn't recover because, look, they shot 55% from the free throw line. Trey, you 3 for 11, single digits. This is like the second or third time this series you done shot like that. But all I've been hearing is, you're a superstar. Superstars don't do that. Now, he's getting a pass because he's young and they're playing the Heat, the number 1 seed or whatnot. But he shouldn't get a pass because you're judged by the same standard. If you're a superstar, you're judged by the same standard as everybody else, man. So if you a killer, that shouldn't happen. Now, maybe you lose by that, but you should at least still get your numbers. Nah, bro. Like they taking it to him. They locking him up, man. They taking it to him. And this is what I mean by you got to get better in the all season. You can't keep bringing the same game thinking things gonna change. He got to get stronger, and he got to take that in personal, dog. Because what makes it even worse, they did this, and Kyle Lowry didn't even play, man. Their starting point guard didn't even play to control the game, can pace, get guys involved, and be physical with you. So really, you got locked up. I know it's a team thing, but you got locked up by Gabe Vincent, who we saw in the Olympics to go to work and stuff for Nigeria or the African team or whatnot. So what does that say, man? Look, we gonna get into it later. And I'm pretty sure other topics gonna come out that's associated with NBA basketball on this show or whatnot. But it's a lot of guys that there's been a lot of false advertisement, and we seeing what it really is now, man. So, nah, man, it's no excuse in the playoffs, dog. You got to step up. Man, look, fine. Their team can be better than yours. It happens. It is. That could be clear. But if you that guy, you got to always show up. It's just what it is.
For sure. And somebody else went through this on the other end of the floor, and then they nipped it in the bud. So it's interesting to see how Trey deals with this. But if you don't fix it, this isn't stopping anytime soon. There's only one way. It's an obvious answer. You have to at least hold your own on that end of the floor, and then it'll stop compromising the rest of your team on that end of the floor. But we'll see what happens. But what we do know is they're one more game away from exiting the playoffs. That's what we know for sure. Last but not least, exciting game last night, man. The Suns find themselves in a place they did not expect themselves to be. The worst thing any top seed can do in any sport in the postseason is let a lower seed, let alone a young team, get confidence. The Suns find themselves in a 2-2 series after the Pelicans took game 4 last night, 118-103. Brandon Ingram, 30 points, 4 boards, 5 assists. Jonas Valanciunas, 26 points and 15 rebounds. CJ McCollum, 18 points, 9 boards. Herb Jones, 13 points, 3 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks, and an impact that could not be measured simply by checking the box score. Cardell, your thoughts on the Pelicans making this thing a series? It's now a best of 3.
Great coaching from New Orleans. His name slipped me. That name quick. The Pelicans head coach,
Willie Green.
Willie Green. All right, yeah. He's saying I don't trust anybody else on the Suns to consistently beat us. So we're gonna focus on Chris Paul. We're gonna cut the head off the snake. Okay, they're throwing everybody at him. Herb Jones is doing a good thing. Grand Theft Alvarado, that's his nickname. He doing a great job on them. They're not scared. They getting up in them, though. That's how they getting minutes. You feel them? And Chris Paul, look, Chris Paul a year younger than me. He feel it like I feel it. This is why I tell you, you can do it like you always done it for a game. But the recovery ain't the same. So you might be all-world Chris Paul that we know him to be, but then that game after, you still saw and they on you the same. Them young boys, see, they recover. They still gonna be there. And then you older, you tired. Your body don't respond like you want it to, like it do. Like it just don't, man. And they got up in them talking trash, bro. 4 points, bro. See, that's when you know Father Time starting to kick in, bro, because he's too crafty of a ball handler, shooter, all that stuff, man. Like, you 2 for 8, 4 points. Nah, dog. With Booker out, nah, he would have got up 20 shots. He couldn't. They was on him, man. They doubled him, they trapped him, 94 feet, all that stuff, man. And it frustrated him. They took him out of the game, and of course, it affects everything else because everybody else is relying on him to get him points. That's why Devin Booker is so key to that team because he don't need anybody. He don't need to rely on anybody to do what he do. And this is what happens when, man, the wrong injury can just deflate everything, man. Like it can kill everything. And they're in danger right now because this is the best of 3. It's the best of 3. Yeah, I know they got home court, but now the Pelicans are confident, so they feel they already got one in Phoenix. So now they feel like, all right, we get this one, we can wrap it up at home, knock out the number 1 seed. Oh, they after that. They're after that, man. You know what I'm saying? And I know Monty Williams, look, I know he went there, with the free throws, and he has a gripe, dog. Look, When Phoenix shoot 10 for 15 and the Pelicans get 32 or 42, that's a crazy gap. That's crazy. But at the same time, and they shot the same amount of threes, but y'all chose to stay on the perimeter. Y'all couldn't go in there. Valanciunas big. You got Herb Jones literally guarding Chris Paul. He moving the ball. He's switching on Mikal Bridges. Then they move it across, and he running down and blocking shot 3-pointers and stuff like that. Oh, like it's just crazy. You feel what I'm saying? Like they got a bunch of junkyard young pit bulls out there that's just hungry, man. Look, eager to prove, man. And they understand their roles, dog. And you see what I'm saying? So like Alvarado, he's not in there to score. He's in there to be a pest and to frustrate the opposing point guard. And that's what he do. And he's always been strong defensively. He got that energy. New York kid, love him. Been watching him since he was high school. He just got the energy, so he take a breath. And Chris Paul, all they've been doing growing up, Chris Paul. This is my chance to establish myself. So I'm not about to let you, like, if you're gonna take me out, you just want to kill me, dog. But we gonna battle. And I love to see it because they bringing that energy that we were seeing all the time growing up, where you just compete. It's amazing when you just compete. What can happen? Just go hard and play smart. What can happen? You don't need to do all that dance and stuff. Matter of fact, if you're going to get somebody that's competing on that, you won't be able to consistently. You just won't be able to. You're going to make a mistake. You're going to dance to me and he's going to rip you. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. CJ McCollum stepping up. But really, Brandon Ingram, dog, he's emerging as a superstar. He's emerging, dog. And, years ago when Kevin Durant said he reminded me a lot, I saw people kind of chuckle because he was in LA and he was still developing, trying to figure it out. But he's coming. I ain't going to say he's coming. He's here. Because he's performing and has been consistent through the play-ins, the second half of the season, through the play-ins to this point in the playoffs. And he's going against the number one seed, the team that a lot of people have favored to cut down the nets. And not cut down the nets, win the championship or whatnot. Hold the trophy up at the end of the year. And he's going right at them. And keep in mind, he's being guarded by more than likely what will be an all-defensive first-team selection, Mikal Bridges and Jay Crowder. And neither one of them can stop him. Like, he's just having his way with him. DeAndre Ayton, look. They better pay him his money. He's hooping. Without him, it'd be ugly right now. They need that boy.
Man.
They better stop playing these games and give him his money. He's proven it. And this is with Chris Paul not even having a good game. He still managed 23. You got to get more boards, man. You got to dominate the boards more, big fella. 8 rebounds. He's capable. You know what I'm saying? One block ain't enough, dog. When you see other guys, that means you got to elevate. But 11 or 14 scoring ball-wise, he showed up. He played big. Bridges and Cam Johnson, they got to start hitting shots. Because, see, that would take pressure off the swarm, and Herb Jones and those guys won't be able to get on it because they got to deal with them. And then Chris Paul can operate, get them wrong. That's why it's a team game. They got to step up. All these guys on the bench and stuff that looked all world, they got to step up, man. Campaign got to step up. JaVale McGee, he's been productive 14 months. He's pretty much been the only productive player off the bench so far. That tells you how much they missed Book, man. So, yeah, man, that's going to be a good one going back to Phoenix, man. But shout out to the Pelicans, man. They did that. They wore down Chris Paul, and it took the Suns completely out the game. And that's why it's 2-2.
Man, the length and activity of their wings, again, especially without Buck, man, it's what did you say? Just competing, and there's not a doubt. There's no question with anybody they've sent in that game at any time. Bare minimum, they're going to complete. They're going to compete, and it's at the same level, man for man over there. Whoever comes in, however long they're in, they're fighting, scratching, clawing, and like you said, it wears down. And with Chris Paul having to set the table with so many people needing the table set for them, man, it's hard offensively.
Because you ain't got to worry about them. If you do get them the ball, you ain't got to worry about them trying to create too much. No. That's not their game. They not even they. That's why even though you may play a role, you still got to work in your game to a point where if they force me and I still got to get mine, I'm capable of getting mine. You know what I'm saying? So it shouldn't be shot. And also, I'm gonna throw this out there for all y'all that's so enamored. We in the training era. Everybody's a trainer now. You play a little bit of basketball, you're a trainer now. They couldn't figure out how to do much. You see what I'm saying? And they just so focused on skill. This is why teams draft guys that are long, tall, and athletic. Because long, tall, athletic guys, they can shut down skill if if they motivated to play defense. But guess what? I can teach them how to play basketball. I can give them skill. I can't teach you to be long, tall, and athletic. That's natural. That's God given.
Come out the box with that, man. Like again, that's Bi with that freakishly long wingspan. Herb Jones with ain't nothing but arms and legs. Prototypical NBA wing, the thing people keep looking for.
Jackson,
The Murphy kid, another all arms and legs.
athletic.
Yeah, athletic as you know what. Larry Nance is an older version of them long athletic tweener things. You don't know what he is, but he's in there raising hell when he comes in. Jackson Hayes, all arms and legs, big, bouncy, dumb athletic. Bruh, do y'all see the trend over there?
Yeah.
And again, you're talking about people with on Phoenix where if it's not catch and shoot, a hard closeout or a control closeout, they got to get the ball back to a creator. It's
tough, bro. Like, you know, I shared this story, and then we can move on. I shared this story with you years ago, like in college when playing against the Georgia Perimeter. That was like the number one team in the country, man. They had no 2 6'11" they could jump, but they were like not bulky. They were like Tyson Chandler, could run and jump at the top of the backboard. And I went in there and I get past one. I think I'm free. The other one just walled up, and I couldn't even see the basket. And the coach was like, Cardell, no, I missed it bad. He was like, Cardell, what you doing? Like, no, I couldn't even see the basket. I'm just being weird. I just kept it honest with him. I was like, woo, I ain't never seen that. No. But normally you be 1 footer, you don't have another footer. And even if you do, they're not quick enough to get over there before you can get the ball up to the back. He was already, I'm right here. And the other one behind trying to swipe at it. And I felt the win. So now I'm just trying to guess where the basket at, dog. Like, I'm just trying to hit the back. I was just trying to throw it off the backboard, at least get the board. You know what I'm saying? And I missed bad, dog. And I just had, I couldn't see it, dog. I'm like, what is this? Y'all introducing it like it was NBA, like.
Yeah.
So that's what they're facing. That's what Chris Paul is seeing, bro. And all that skill, you can dance all you want. You can cross, dog. When you long and athletic, you can literally cross me, and I'm still there. My arm is still there. You see it all the time. Dudes get crossed, they shift, and they still pluck them because they just. That bothers you, and now that the league has allowed guys to play defense again, you've seen a lot of people be inconsistent. They're not used to it. They're getting it's tough, and you have to work twice as hard just to get the average bucket you normally was getting in years prior easily. So it's draining, and then mentally it affects you because now you gotta be more aware. You running on the shot clock. No, it impacts a lot of things that people who don't play and don't really look that deep into the box score with the basketball game, they don't understand. And that's how it messes up a lot of teams. That's why it's 2-2. So they just grinding out. They relying on, look, we got CJ and Ingram that's going to put up points consistently. We got 2 go-to guys. If we hold y'all down, we good. So let's do that. And we going to be there. Y'all a little up there. Y'all might be a little tired. And keep in mind, they had a long season last year, finals and stuff like that. It's starting to. So it's interesting, man. We gonna see, man. But I'm loving it, dog. The playoffs are going, well, not all the way, but the playoff. I knew it would be competitive, and I'm liking how it's competitive, man.
Yeah, and like you said, that Booker injury is huge when you don't, because him as a creator, everybody saw about it as a scorer, but him as a secondary creator is what unlocked them last year and made them so freaking hard to deal with. Was he was the dude where you could take it out of Chris's hands, he could still get the offense rolling to keep it on track, or go off. Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, the game that he got hurt in, the man had 31 at the half. So you took that away. Yeah, man. Now Herb and the rest of them, they focus on people who can't do what Book does. And then even down low, you talk about what Ayton is playing well. You still got to deal with JV's had a solid series. Like, that's a large man to be dealing with for 4 quarters.
You gotta make up for Book's production. Yeah. So, and Ayton's not there yet because he will be. That's when, all right, let's say back in the day, Lakers, yeah, you got some strong role players, B. Shaw, Warren, all those guys. So let's say Kobe injured, he's out. Shaq gonna be like, I'm about to go for 40 and 20. You see what I'm saying? To make up for that and be a force. And if they doubling me, B. Shaw hit them threes, D. Fish hit them threes, Robert Horry hit those threes, Rick Fox, I see you cutting back door, go ahead, get that layup. And then they're gonna try to shut you down offense. They can still win. Ayton's not at that level, at least not yet. You know what I'm saying? Only probably what Embiid and Jokic are at that level where you can, like, you know what I'm saying? That's it. So they need somebody. They need the other guys to step up because when Chris struggles, they literally have nothing else going.
Yeah, and Phoenix, regardless of how this ends, um, it's up to you, man. But it it couldn't be me letting Aiden walk out this door.
Nah.
It couldn't be me. Wouldn't even be here right now. Do what you got to do. But to each their own. All right, tonight's slated games. Game 4 in the Boston Brooklyn series. Celtics got a chance to end this with the brooms, clean sweep. You got Game 5 in Philly Toronto. The Sixers. Toronto fought back last game. They lost Van Vliet. They still got the job done at home. The Sixers at home tonight, they got a chance to end their series. They lead 3-1. And then the Jazz and Mavs, they're in the same place the Pelicans and Suns are. It's 2-2, except for the Mavs. You just got Luka back. So it's going to be interesting. But again, the Jazz did what they had to do to get back into the series. Last game was huge. But again, like you had 3 games with no Luka and you did not take full advantage of it. So we're going to see how that goes. But your thoughts on the slated games tonight, Cardell?
I mean, obviously all eyes are in Boston. We're in Brooklyn. Boston and the Celtics. I mean, Boston Celtics, and the Brooklyn Nets and whatnot. And for more reasons than just the game, man. Like, look, Brooklyn, Kevin and Kyrie. It's an understatement to say they're disappointed. They haven't been able to figure the Celtics out. The Celtics are playing some hellified tough defense. I get it, but y'all 2 all-world scorers, all-world players. People have said that Kyrie's the most skilled guard of all time. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But you can't figure out this defense, and this is what I've been saying. People don't want to hear, especially people these days. They act like that. I don't know. We ain't been covering the league for about 6-7 years. Like we don't see this shit all the time. The defense is horrendous for the most part. The last few years, it's been non-existent. In the playoffs, maybe a handful of teams are turning on to get the teams that are competing for championships. Right, the defense has been non-existent. The league changed the rules to allow the defenders to obviously play defense, and it started right away when you saw guys they were struggling, and I'm like, y'all not quite the same, but fine. If y'all more skilled than ever before, this shouldn't really bother y'all. And you saw up and down seasons from a lot of people. Now you see in the playoffs where it's like it's on one because you're dealing with the top teams, and they really can focus on you for the series. And even the guys we deem as superstars are not just off, like shooting wise. That's one thing. Like they mentally, you can just tell they just all out of whack in every way, and that's a bit disappointing and surprising, man. It just is, man. And now they got to go back to the drawing board and figure it out. But the thing about Kevin, I'm shocked because I'm like, you grew up around here, bro. You grew up on the playground. Physicality shouldn't bother you. You know what I'm saying? But I understand they throwing bodies at you. I just think now that he's up there, early 30s and stuff like that, he wants to start taking the weight room serious. So when he gets beat down, it don't fatigue him, it don't bother him. Because even before that, when he's trying to get the ball, he can't even hold guys off. He's not even strong enough to hold guys off, get them off position, and to get the ball. Or when he gets the ball, they still bumping him off his position. He can't even just establish it. I'm like, dude, that shouldn't be happening in your early 30s. I ain't saying I'm not saying you gotta be Charles Oakley strong or something like that, Shaq Diesel strong, but you gotta get strong enough where when they make contact with you, they get knocked back, or at least it's even, and you can still do what you do, and it's wearing them down. Kyrie is a different animal because he's still just 6'3". So you stand with me, you do all that dance all you want. We double contest you, you're going to be off because we more than likely going to get that block. If we're blocking KD, we can block you. And they're fully aware of that. And his energy low, obviously they bring up the Ramadan and stuff like that. But I think his energy would be still low. He would get fatigued because you can't just jump in basketball, especially at the end of the season when it's go time, and be yourself. You have to be conditioned throughout the season, build you up for this grind. And I think his body's just tapping out. That's what happens when you miss work. It's like in football, you're gonna have to have practices with the pads on. You can't just go in the game and not have hits and took hits. Everybody gonna get hurt. The whole team will be injured. We're gonna have to get a whole new team. You can't do that. I just feel like with Brooklyn, the things that has brought them to this point is that it's been too much BS outside of what matters most, and that's the main thing, and that's basketball. Especially at the pro level, you got to keep the main thing the main thing. And what have we been talking about mostly when it came to Brooklyn Nets this season? Kyrie, and if he would get vaccinated. KD, when will he come back? What's the beef between them and James Harden? What's the beef between them and James Harden and stuff like that? No, then when Ben Simmons came, and Ben Simmons, dog. Look. All right, look, man. You look like a sucker now. It's just facts. Like I'm not even questioning his injury. We don't have the medical reports. We don't do that here. I'm not gonna speculate. You might very well look. You hurt, fine. Let's say you hurt your back, and you don't play with your back. You still gotta get out there and try, dog. That's all. That's all anybody asking. You do that, and it's clear you can't go. You know what everybody do in Brooklyn? Standing ovation. And you killed all of the stuff people said about you, dog. It's dead. You can't say nothing. He tried. And that might spark your team. Like, my man getting out here with a bad back, dog. We gotta go harder, dog. He put it all on the line. You look selfish. You look weak. And you can't respect him no more. And this stuff, this thing is gonna stay with you, dog. Think about Scottie Pippen when he ain't go out for the migraine. And he's a 6-time champion. Hall of Fame, a top 75 player. And they still bring that up to this day. Been retired for years. They still bring it up when they talk about him. Dog, he has become the poster child for everything that's wrong in today's society when it comes to sports. Sport, entitled kids, man. He's become that. Indirectly or not, whether it's fully deserving or not, it doesn't matter. He's become that. And he's done it to himself. Dog, I'm right. You got to sacrifice. We've seen this for years. Willis Reed living on the court, and they ain't even had the technology and stuff like they do now to help him recover. He really put everything on the line, and he wasn't making millions of dollars back then. And look who he was going against, Wilt Chamberlain. Went out there, hit a couple jumpers, and they was like, "That's all we need. We good, big fella. Go sit down. We got the rest." Oh no, they can't win this game. We can't let them win this game, and they beat the hell out the Lakers. Like, dog, I put up a Kobe clip where Kobe was like, I don't have to be any percent. I'll change my game, but I'm playing, dog. Like, we ain't even, this the finals, dog. It's playoff time. And you up here, dog, man. And the thing is, it has nothing, two things can be right. He could be this way and still be in the right for how he felt for what happened in Philly. That will never change for me. You don't do that. I don't care if it's Joe Blow. I don't care what teammate it was. If Ben Simmons did it to Joel Embiid, I'll be like, you don't do that to a teammate. Ben Simmons was wrong. You don't throw your teammates on the bus because you lost the series and everybody has something to do with that. It's not just him. But this right here, you ain't putting it all on the line. You, dog. And at max, even if you did play, you probably been out there like 10 minutes. They ain't going to keep you out there. They know
all that. He wasn't even getting 10 consecutive. About to get 2-3 minute bursts.
You got to try, especially when you seeing clips of him warming up, shooting jump. Now you lose credibility with everybody in the league, dog. We don't even want to hear it. So like, you don't have the benefit of the doubt no more. It's like, in a way, DeMarcus Cousins, with his past history, if he even look at the ref wrong, it's a tech. He can't even react. When they make a call, cool, just run back down court and you got to do that now. And you just have to understand that because that's a hole you built for yourself. And he's a byproduct of the entitlement stuff. Just because you're super talented and they know you're on a fast track to success, everybody just lets you do what you want. And I'm not saying that's the case at every stop or whatever like that, but that's what the viewpoint is going to be when it comes to him because of this, man. Enough is enough, dog. And, you seeing a guy like Stephen A on ESPN, he's right. We've been saying this for years. That next CBA is going to be ugly.
Oh, man.
Because the owners fed up. Like, dog, we paying y'all all this money. Y'all sitting out for work, dog. Like, what? Y'all say y'all love the game. You get paid more than ever. Oh, no, we getting some of this back. Y'all tripping. We ain't going to say nothing. And after coming off the pandemic, all that, they just chilling. They ain't saying nothing. Okay. And they're going to use Ben Simmons, and players know that. Yeah. It's just disgusting, dog. You got to at least get out there and try, dog. That's all we saying. Nobody asked you to get out there and drop 30 and 20 and hold Jason Tatum scoreless. That's not even possible. Dog, you ain't played all year. We understand the limitation you're going to have, but you got to have heart and get out there. And for people that may see this clip and be like, man, like, bro, I did it. I did it in college. I played with a torn ankle. I did that. Paying for it to this day, but I wouldn't change nothing about it because that allowed me scholarship opportunities to continue to where I'm doing the things I'm doing now. You see what I'm saying? It's a team sport. You're gonna have to lay it on the line where it's adversity that may not be in your best interest, and it's a challenge right in front of you, and you gotta be like, who cares, dog? I gotta meet it head on, see what I can do. I gotta try for my team. And dog, you can't be you don't deserve any respect right now because your benefit of the doubt went out with the Philadelphia stuff. And then the team pumping it up, whoever's leaking it, pumping it up like you gonna play game 4. But what a lot of people were saying was right. Well, if you can't play in game 3, how you gonna play in game 4? It's only a day apart. If you were good enough, you should have shot to play in game 3. But you sitting there in Hollywood, even the image don't look like dog, I'm not gonna sit there in shades. I'm gonna be there like hoodie, like you gonna tell like I'm in grind mode, like I'm locked in, I'm with y'all. Bro, it's just a bad look, man. And that's why with all that going on with Brooklyn, I can't, bro. It's hard for me to see them getting out over 5, man. Like I just hard, bro. It's just maybe they will themselves to a win tonight. Who knows? You still can't sleep on KD and Kyrie. They're still dangerous. You can't just go in there and be like it's easy because it ain't easy. But there's too much BS going on outside of the main thing, which is basketball. And I've never seen a team be successful with all that going on. They gotta get to a point, and this is an example for everybody. You can't take shortcuts across the league and every league. You can't take shortcuts, and you can't have a bunch of bullshit going on around outside of the main thing and think you're gonna be successful because your focus is gonna be all scattered all over the place, man. And that's just what it is.
Yeah, I think the main thing you said with Ben was the benefit of doubt's gone, whether it's right or wrong, indirectly or not, the way it was handled as a whole. And I'm going for him, his team, etc. And I'm not going to go too heavy into, his team, but, in terms of the agency and all that stuff. But all this happens. What struck me wrong was you're going to try to go around and turn around after the trade or whatever. And then pretty much essentially hold him out because you couldn't let him play because it mess up the grievance that you tried to file for $20 million. Instead, he needed to be playing, and you could have ramped him up. And soon as the trade was done, and you're not here now. Instead, like you said, whether as far as he goes, whether right, wrong, and different, you're not going back on this reputation. You are staying as this, and this is what it's going to be going forward. And the ugly part about this is some of the folks around, that's your team, that's your people you hired. That's on you. That's part of your group.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to bear this the rest of the way. The people who made decisions behind closed doors, what have you, ain't nobody worried about them. You are the one people was going on TV yesterday, several rants. And can't say that they're wrong. Because my whole thing, if like you said, if you can't play in game 3, you don't play game 4. Why leak that? Why leak that stuff if your client or whatever's not ready, what have you, the kid's not ready, back's not gonna be fine. We all know back sports. It's a tough thing. Cool. If you're not gonna play, you're not gonna play. Don't say anything. Talks to him coming back shouldn't even been on the table. But you open the door, and now here you are. Yeah. Now there's no going back. And it's cliche, whatever. Perception's reality. And it's gonna take a whole lot. Right. To change this, and even then, it's not going to change. It's still going to be the first thing people bring up, no matter what you do. If you come back following years and get right and get back to being who you are, like you mentioned, Scotty, decorated career, man. Don't nobody cares. First thing that comes out their mouth. It's one of the first 2 things.
And you know what's wrong?
But
you had a rookie in Toronto, Scotty Barnes, roll his ankle back, and his ass fall back and jumped out there. He ain't have a good game. I mean, he just gave him what he could.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. And they got the win. They got a tough win, bro. That's inspirational because how I'm not gonna go out and this man wounded and he out here trying.
Yep.
You look suspect. You were up there half-assing, bro. He just looks soft, man. And there's no other way of putting it, dog. And at the end of the day, your representation, they work for you. Rich Paul works for you, bro. I don't care if you be like, yo, you shouldn't play. Slum. It's me. Now, if you don't like that, we can cut this off right now. I'm playing. I'm gonna go out there and try. Like we down 3-0. The least I can do is try to get a couple balls, try to bang with Tatum or something, man. Oh, come on, bro. Like you can't rely on him, man. And it's interesting to see what the Brooklyn Nets gonna do in the offseason, dog, because it's been one hell of a roller coaster ride, dog. Like it's just been
Since they got there, it's been crazy.
It's
This
been,
whole thing.
and then you know what this also shows, and let's keep it a buck.
Mm-hmm.
This player empowerment era ain't everything it's cut out to be.
No,
Because
it's
they have, man, they've destroyed a lot of franchises, dog. So these teams gonna get back to the same power. Like all these players, like, yeah, we deserve to have all this power. No, a lot of you players don't, dog. Fine. LeBron, it's a different case because he was going to the finals for like 10 straight years. It's ridiculous, dog. He was doing his thing. So you knew you was going to have a chance at winning. You knew that with him. But even it came to a head to him with like y'all talking about the bubble championship. Y'all want to claim that, fine. But 3 years, 2 years, you got eliminated 1 year in the playoffs, and the last two the 2 other years since you met LA, you ain't even made it. With them extending the chance of you to get in the playoffs. Yeah. So that goes to show you just because you play the game don't mean you know how to run an organization. Because playing with your homies and stuff and people you cool with or who under the same agency and stuff like that don't mean it's all gonna fit. Personality is gonna fit because you're not with that dude. You don't know if they work hard. You don't know how they are when it's go time, playoffs and stuff like that. It's so many factors that equates to a winning situation or good culture is crazy. And you've seen that with Boston. Wasn't Marcus Smart early in the season going off for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown for shooting the ball too much? And he was right. He was right. Like, no, you got other players here. Stop with the BS. And then they come to DC around that time, Tatum drop 50 and stuff. But you can see it wasn't where it is now, but you can see them heading in the right direction. Then all of a sudden, you just look up, oh, they won 9 in a row. They're just in 11th place. What the hell? They in the playoffs. Damn. And they never stop. And bro, it's just I just feel like the BS caught up to the Nets, and they done. Steve Nash ain't exempt from this, dog. You getting thoroughly outcoached, bro.
Oh
like,
man,
that's whole of a player empowerment.
That whole buddy thing too, because Marks and him are tight too. So
it's too much of who you know instead of can you do the job.
Yeah, and those are former teammates, whatever, right? Yeah, like, and that's why that offseason is gonna be fun. Because honestly, you know what needs to happen? Heavy-handed, man. Go get you a strong coach, and it is what it is.
That won't kiss ass.
Yep, and build a roster around your best player and keep it moving. Feelings be damned. It is what it is. It just is what it is. And honestly, you're not even in this situation if you don't trade for James. But it is what it is, and that's that. You did what you did, cool. But this year, like you said, with all this stuff going on, man's wanted out. This dude don't get along with this dude. This dude's on a crusade to not come to work.
Too much BS.
Yeah.
Trying to say shortcuts, and you think you could just come in the playoffs and all that. And ironically, Bruce Brown, he popped off, but he been hooping.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy how that is.
Sid had a question. What's going on, Sid? Do y'all think with the injuries to Middleton and Booker make this any team's year to win, or Bucks Suns still the favorite for the finals?
Well, I had the Bucks being the favorite still, but injuries do play a role. I think the Bucks play the winner of the Nets and Celtics, so that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be real tough. But yeah, look, dog. Yeah, look, the stuff the Celtics doing with the Nets ain't gonna roll with the Bucks like that because Giannis, that physicality ain't gonna bother him. He just let's bang, and I don't think he want to get in a banger contest with Giannis because that's naturally his game. Yeah. So and Porter's down the ride, Lopez down the ride. You got Ibaka there. They got big bodies. They ain't small like the Nets either. You know, the Nets small. Like Kevin had bigs, dog. You know what I'm saying? Drew a dog. He gonna be on Tatum and like making them work and stuff like that. And look, man, it ain't sweet. And Middleton will return. And Booker will return. The thing is, they gotta get out the first round. Bucks already there. The Suns in the dog fight though. With them winning the way they won last night, it raises eyebrows and makes it interesting though. Because if they somehow sneak that win out of Phoenix, woo, man, because it's dire, it's urgent. Chris Paul ain't getting no younger, dog.
And what'd you say earlier, which goes back into this? It's a 3-game series. The days in between the games goes down a little bit. Those kids is 20-nothing years old. They're not gonna feel it. They're not gonna feel it.
Look. Me and my boys talk about it. Shout out my man Bird up in UMass Louisville, though. We be talking about it sometimes all wax. He's like, dog, remember the AAU days? Like, man, you play like 4 games a day, be on the McDonald's diet, come back off the trip, and then go play like 6 games of pickup after playing all the basketball. Don't need no ice packs or nothing. We wouldn't dare do that now, dog. We be late. We be in the body cast like, dog, like can't do nothing. Just sore, limping. Can't even bend down to tie your shoe. Like father time is real. And if they feeling it like that with all the resources, dudes put little cream and shakes and all this protein to help you recover, and they still can't bounce back, that tells you it's father time on him, man. It's on him. And keep in mind, he's still a 6-foot point guard. He wasn't super athletic to begin with.
And that's the thing. All that size and length they throwing at him. Them kids ain't getting no smaller for the rest of the series. just I know, like, you can visibly see him getting increasingly the way that Chris Paul makes opponents feel. That's what New Orleans did to him.
When's the last time you seen Chris Paul get ripped and pick up an 8-second call on the back?
The 8-second call was nuts because that meant he was so discombobulated. That's one of the sharpest players in the league to not understand the time clock situation at that time.
But that's what fatigue does, dog. Yeah. Like you don't even realize you're doing it. It's just like you just for that split second, you like, and you just slip just that one. Still, oh shit! Like it affects you, dog. So
they're in some, they in some stuff. Phoenix is. Milwaukee's all right. All they did was slide Portis or whatever into the starting lineup, stay extra tall, and all their bigs pretty much can shoot. So like they've been here before. Giannis is on the court, so they'll be okay. And oh boy, yeah, Phoenix was interesting. Then again, we got Philly, Toronto tonight, and then Jazz, Mavs. I guess Cardell, before we get off here, what do you think about the Jazz Mavs series? Because it's tied in too.
That was a tough one for Utah. Like, that was a real tough one. That gave them. That gives you a little boost moving forward. They just got to play smarter, play tough and play smarter and stuff like that. They play with more pride. Led by Bogdanovich. I'm not going to give anybody else credit on the Jazz. Bogdanovich set the tone with the way he was playing defense, man, flying around and stuff, contesting and stuff. That's what they weren't doing in the blowout losses when the Mavs were cooking because they was getting wide open threes. Let me just go back. So, like guys on the last game, when they held on and stuff like that, looking at that, remember Kleber, Bertans was killing them? Bertans got 3 minutes, 1 point. Kleber had 3 points. That's extra defense. Now Luka returned, so Luka gonna do what Luka do. So he made up for with the production with 30 and stuff. Brunson still killing them. Finney, Bullock, and Powell. But what it did was their defense just took the Mavs bench totally out of it. You know what I'm saying? So it came down to just who made the least mistakes, and Jazz made one more play. But they needed to make that play because of the morale that they had. That's why I said it was a tough win because you had to grind out that win at home, or it's 3-1 going back to Dallas and it's a wrap. And then you deflated. You're not even going to try. Now they feel like they got a fighting chance and stuff like that. Gobert 17-15. I love the dunk that Mitchell set up for him. Mitchell still out there. He got to be more efficient, 7-21, and still bring it defensively. Like, look, fine. It's hard to stop Doncic. But, dog, take the challenge and shut down Brunson. Like, bro, you ain't getting but 10 points if that. That helps you come back to Utah with a chance to close it out because you'll pull out that win. It's just little things like that, man. So, and one thing the Jazz do, they were the aggressor. Really, this game shouldn't have been close. They shot 61% from the free throw line, 26 of 42. Come on, dog. They better than that. If they make their free throws, they punish the Mavs. So that tells you can play with them. Just keeps the same blueprint. Start with defense, play unselfish basketball, and you got a shot. Had 17 assists. Held the Mavs to 15 assists. You know what I'm saying? Then turn the ball on, 8 turnovers. Like I said, little things that they did well that they weren't doing in the blowout losses. Continue that, and they got a chance because you're going to have to continue that being in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Because you damn sure ain't getting no 42 free throws in Dallas. So you're going to have to make those shots. You're going to have to move the ball. You're not going to have you can't be a double agent turning the ball over. And you're going to play tough and physical defense. It's the only way. So they show they can do it. They just have to do it again, man. And that's on them, man. But hell of a one. Because I thought they was done. I'm just be honest.
Nah, you weren't the only one. Because I was of the same mind. I thought, what's it called coming back and how that game was going, especially late. Like you said, if one more play was made. And again, the last thing you wanted was going to Dallas down 3-1. Which, their best player getting their legs something underneath them after getting back into the series. But it's going to be fun. Playoffs have been fun. Again, those are the games that are on tonight. We'll be back tomorrow morning. No show on Wednesday. Just tell you guys early, nothing on Wednesday. Got a Mystics preseason game, and we'll be back on Thursday and Friday as usual.
One more
Go ahead,
thing.
Cardell.
Yo, Embiid, you can't tell the coach the game before stop crying about calls and now you crying about the refs, dog. Like, dog, you got a ball, dog. You can't have it both ways, bro. You just got a ball. Everybody hurt. Everybody hurt, man. You got a ball, man. It is what it is. But they back in Philly. We gonna see because that's his shooting thumb. That's what I was waiting to hear when he said it was shooting thumb. He needs surgery and all that. That's tough. And best believe the Raptors gonna be swiping at that thing.
Man, four quarters, swing away, swing away. Saying baseball, swing away. Yes, swing away.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it feel. Hey, my bad. You get it fixed, but we gotta get this W, dog. It's business. It ain't personal. Call it dirty if you want. Man. It is what it is.
I'm going for rebounds with your thumb in mind.
You gotta do what you gotta do, but you can't do that, man. But it's interesting to see what the Raptors do because is Van Vliet gonna play? They need him. If he don't play, then Philly, but look, they got to end this because you don't want to go back up to the Raptors playing, especially like I said, injuries, little things like that. So we gonna see, man. But there's gonna be some good playoff theater tonight, man.
Man, this is only round one. Keep in mind.
Yeah.
This is round one of this year's playoffs, man. All this craziness, all this nonsense is only round one. And Cardell alluded to just one of the potential second round matchups. The second round matchups are even better.
Yeah.
On both sides.
Look, man, whoever win this chip.
Oh, they earned it. Oh, man. Earned it. Earned it. Man, what's it called? So getting to the conference championship this year, man.
Like, that picture that always floating around, Jimmy Butler in the bubble. He just over there. That's how the team go. Everybody on the team, front office, everybody was like, God dang.
And what's it called? And again, going back to the point with some of these teams that understand what this first round is like, there's no reason to be playing around. Get your work done early.
Because guess who, the winner of the 76 Raptors series, guess who they got next?
Miami. Hey. So potentially, what's it called? Both games tonight we seeing game 4, game 5. Boston and Philly need to finish these things off if they can, because you got Miami and eventually Milwaukee just waiting.
Yeah.
And not to disrespect the Bulls, but you got Milwaukee, you got the defending champs, and you got Miami waiting. And whoever's dealing with Milwaukee, that's one of the biggest teams in the league. Just waiting on you.
And with all the injuries out west, the East is hell.
Yeah.
The East is hell right now, dog.
Yeah.
The East hell, dog. Like, it's only really one team that's like cruising. That's the Warriors, the one everybody was talking ish about the second half of the season.
It's crazy how that works. Yeah. Crazy how that works.
So it's on you, man. Yeah. Stop all the Embiid, just hoop, dog. Like, it's playoffs, don't nobody care.
Especially after talking. You can't say anything. You can't say anything. Just play. You get a lot of calls, bro. Stop it. Just let it go. We see, especially you and your partner over there. We've seen games won by y'all shoot better from the line from the field. And some of the field goal attempts are literally attempts to get to the line. So y'all can't, I don't want to hear nothing about the foul discrepancy, disparity, any foul line talk from you and your boy over there in Philly. So nothing. Again, thank y'all. This one, hold on. I think we got one more comment before the buzzer. It said Maxey got them tonight. Hey man, we're gonna see.
We'll see.
They need it. I know that. You need to get done with this first round as quickly as possible.
Yep. Him and Tobias, they got a ball.
Yep.
Hold on. And then damn, then my man Pascal dropped Embiid.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you guys just hoop.
Dog, and again, like that last win, it was great for Toronto, but you lost to a team that had a small forward as their point guard. They had nothing but 3s and 4s on the floor.
It's tough.
Yeah, like just they had nothing but 3s and 4s on that floor. So, oh my bad,
Thad
Thad Young dropped in B.
Yeah,
Appreciate
it
you
was one
jumping
of them. Yeah, Thad Young, and he came in. He gave him good minutes and stuff. So now they gonna look. They found something. That's what I mean by. But Nick Nurse is a championship coach, so
Yeah.
he reaching for any. Let me try this. Let me try that.
And that is
It's
Nick
called
Nurse is definitely an old throw the kitchen sink at you type dude. He's gonna try to find something. Like, yeah,
well, we gonna see.
it's in their best interest for the team to have a chance to end series. Get it done tonight. Don't delay it, because you might end up like the Suns. You know, don't want to end up in them situations. It happens fast. Again, I want to thank y'all for. Go ahead, Cardell. What you about to say?
No, I said it does.
Oh, thank y'all for spending time with us this morning. Obviously, you guys know what it is. This week's installment of Focus TV, Wednesday morning on our Roku channel, and then Friday night on DCTV. Follow us on social media. We'll have more on that. And again, be back tomorrow morning. You know, start times between 9:30 a.m. and 10 a.m. See you guys tomorrow. Probably talk a little bit more. We're talking hoops tomorrow for sure. We're talking playoffs for at least the next month and a half, too. To the middle of June, we're talking NBA playoffs. It's a given. Probably take another look at the NFL draft tomorrow morning, because that's on Thursday and all this crazy noise surrounding it. But, hey, man, going to have a lot to talk about, or a little bit to talk about, depending on how these things get dealt with tonight. It shall be interesting. Y'all have a great day.